Now we did have a first half that was very strong, and Q2 was also very strong, as you just mentioned. But we had a negative effect of inventory reduction, which we had signaled at the end of Q1. The business is very resilient. We have growth across all geographies. Various therapy areas are growing. And so this is a business that is very resilient. We've managed the crisis well. And we see that patients are now returning to their physicians, and we see a good Q3.
And let's get right to it. I think the question that everybody is wondering right now, inside and outside the investment community, how optimistic are you about the University of Oxford vaccine based on the data you've seen?
So far, so good. We have just published recently in the Lancet the results of the earlier results of this phase 1/2 study. And that has shown that the vaccine stimulates the immune system and produces antibodies that are at a level that is similar to patients who have recovered from the disease. But also, very importantly, the vaccine stimulates T cells production. Those are the so-called killer cells that also will add to the immunity and potentially could help deliver a long-term sustainable immunity. So far, so good. And we are recruiting patients in our phase 3 program in the UK, in Brazil, in South Africa, and just about to start in the US.
And on those phase 3 trials, some investors are expecting we could get some data by the end of August. Is that realistic?
I think we should expect to get data by the fall rather than by the end of August. There is one variable we do not control, and it's the rate of infection in the community. You can imagine that if there is no infection in the community, that's good news, of course, but it also makes it very difficult to show that a vaccine protects people. So depending on the rate of infection in the various communities where we do our clinical trials, we can have results early or in the fall or later in the year.
Pascal, I'm fascinated by the results because we've seen from a lot of the other key drug companies this crowding out phenomena where non-COVID related healthcare and drug acquisition has suffered as a result of what we've seen inevitably from health services being very focused on the virus. You don't seem to have suffered that same fate. Could you just talk us through that? Why is AstraZeneca standing out different?
Well, first of all, we have a fantastic team that is doing a great job across the world, and I would like to thank them for this. But we have a very resilient business. We are in many, many different geographies. We are very focused in 3 TAs, but we have a broad portfolio of products across those TAs. Our teams have reacted very quickly, and we are very agile at adjusting to the coronavirus crisis. And we have a lot of new products, new launches that have driven our growth. So actually, the only product really that has suffered substantially is Pulmicort in China. And if we were to correct for this, the growth would be even stronger. So we've been very happy with the work our teams around the world have done.
And can I talk about pipeline just a moment here? Because obviously there's been a lot of news recently on the lung disease treatment and on the progress of Farxiga, if I'm saying that correctly, this diabetes drug. Can you just tell us where you are in terms of commercialization on some of these products in the pipeline?
Yeah, so the data you just mentioned are fantastic data that will transform, in the case of Tagrisso, transform the care of early lung cancer. But we don't have approval for this data yet. We as soon as we get the data in our label, we will be able to promote, and there will really be a transformational treatment for patients with lung cancer. More recently, we just announced a couple of days ago the results of a study with our product Farxiga in kidney disease in patients who are diabetic or not diabetic. And we've actually seen absolutely remarkable results, which we are fast tracking to publish at the Congress, to publish and present at the Congress. And those are quite unique data. And I believe this will be also transformative in the way patients with kidney disease are treated. So a lot of good news coming out of our pipeline, and we are launching those products. And I would also like to mention the collaboration we've just entered into with Daiichi Sankyo with DS-1062 for the treatment of lung cancer and other types of cancers as well. And that will make our oncology franchise even stronger.